Hillary Clinton and Al Gore both decided long ago not to run for president in 2004. Wow, a rhyme. A lot of people think they decided to skip a tough battle against President Bush and instead run in 2008, sort of building toward that and making friends for Hillary Clinton along the way. But now, polls show John Kerry has a real shot to unseat the president in November. Of course, it's February, but that's how they look right now. If he wins the nomination, is Kerry's surge a threat to the plans for Clinton and Gore? Joining us in Los Angeles, Fox News political analyst Susan Estrich. Hadn't thought about it like this, Susan. Go on.
Oh, it's just inside baseball, Shep, for those of us who like to play these games. But if you want the 2-minute version, think of it this way. A few months ago, Bill Clinton was saying to anyone who would listen, including many of my friends, that Hillary should go. And a lot of people thought, was he crazy? Well, here was the scenario, and he was right. Turns out Bush is much more vulnerable. Turns out Dean collapsed. Turns out John Kerry, a worthy opponent, but now John Edwards is emerging as the next Bill Clinton, not Hillary. And if Kerry wins, of course, he gets to run again in 4 years. If Kerry loses, Edwards gets to run in 4 years. And for Hillary to run against Edwards is a very tough shot.
Why is that?
And imagine, well, because he's everything she isn't. And her ex-husband, not her ex-husband, the ex-president, her husband, I wasn't saying anything there. The ex-president, her husband, is, which is Southern, moderate, incredibly good in a room. I think he reminds me of Clinton in '88. He's just, you saw him in New Hampshire. Wasn't he good, Shep?
You know what? I've heard nobody on either side of the aisle say anything about what an affable, easy to look at, listen to guy. But, you know, this is a man, John Edwards, if we're honest about this, who's been saying the exact same words in the exact same order from day one in his national political career.
But he's good at saying them, you see. He says them, Reagan said them, and he can make you feel like he's saying them fresh for the first time. And actually, he's added a few words lately. He's now talking about, you know, the American dream of getting rich and middle-class values. He's changing them
that sounds
a little bit.
That sounds like a balance for a man who might want to be president. This might be a guy who wants to be vice president, huh?
It does indeed. So either he's vice president and he gets to run, he doesn't win, he does win. In either event, you tell me, if Clinton had come in and it had been Clinton Clark running against Kerry in the primaries, we might have had a different result. Now, I think Kerry Edwards is still the best ticket, but you tell me when Hillary runs in this scenario, I don't think she gets a chance.
Are the Clintons sweating it now as a result?
Well, you know, it's just not their turn. He was right. Her best shot might have been this year. And as in all such things, Bill Clinton is the best politician in the party. I think John Kerry might actually win this year. So it'll be an interesting race. I
want to add Frank Donatelli to the mix, a Republican strategist. He's in our Washington newsroom. Frank, you hear this talk here. I guess to hear it from Susan Estrich and from most political observers, the chances are you're going to be facing John Kerry. It sounds like, at least maybe before today, they had sort of captured the momentum. They certainly had defined the issues. President Bush today making an attempt to redefine and get something that works for him better. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, I think so. This has been a very, very rough patch for President Bush. And look, as long as the focus is on John Kerry, the winner of primaries, he's going to be doing very well. But it is only a matter of time, Shepard, before the coverage switches and there is a real examination of Senator Kerry's record.
Well, that's what you hope.
Which is very vulnerable. Well, it's going to happen. I mean, it's only February, and we've got this interminable campaign now that's going to last for months. It's only a matter of time before the press begins to go over Senator Kerry's record. And it's a very vulnerable record. I mean, he is probably one of the 5 most liberal senators in the United States Senate. And I'm happy to have that debate between a conservative Republican and a liberal Democrat. Susan remembers that debate in 1988, and it didn't turn out very well.
Defining the talking points is a very important thing for campaigns to do this early, Susan. It felt yesterday to me like that's what was happening at the White House. And did you get a sense that they had a very willing press corps to talk about something that happened in the Vietnam War and has been talked about many, many times?
You know, Shep, I think it's interesting. I, am doing the count on how many times you can say liberal Democrat in 1 minute. I think I just got 3 on it. I don't think it works anymore. I mean, I went to the movie and I'm ready to figure out how to come up with a new third act. But I don't think people, you buy it the first time. The second time, I don't think people are going to vote 88 again. I think they're going to look at what these guys are offering for the future. I mean, of course it's true that it's nice to win every week, and it always helps, and, this race is yet to be joined. But the guy I saw on TV on Sunday was not ready for prime time.
Okay, let's talk about winning.
He's got a long way to go.
Let's talk about winning every week. Is that part of the strategy here? Is there a danger that John Kerry begins running in the general election against President Bush too soon? And doesn't it feel like that's about where we are?
I don't think so. I mean, right now he's got the advantage, quite honestly, of he's winning every week. You see, when
but if they all drop out, he's not winning every week. He's just a candidate for president.
They're not dropping out. So right now he's beating Dean, so he looks moderate, you see, because he's beating the guy on the left. I always used to love beating Jesse Jackson because people thought Dukakis was a centrist because he was beating the guy on the left. It was only when the guy on the left dropped out that they woke up one morning and said, my God, baby, he is the guy on the left.
Frank,
that was a bad day.
Frank, given the fact that most on both sides of the political fence think Kerry is the guy, is it time for the White House to begin its political machine here? And if so, where do they start?
Well, I think the president's already started that. He was on Meet the Press last week, and I think the performance was better maybe than Susan said. I gave a major speech today. You'll probably see some advertising on television probably coming within the next month or so. But here's the challenge I think there is to the Kerry campaign right now. Thus far, the Kerry campaign has been able to win based primarily on tactics, a brilliant tactical move by moving up to Iowa and becoming the alternative to Dean. There is no overarching theme to the Kerry campaign so far. He's got a lot of little themes, but I think if he's going to win, his challenge is now to project an alternative to the Bush administration.
Understood. Thank you both. There's breaking news on B from FNC. And now to Arkansas and Wesley Clark, who is saying thank you to those who supported him.